Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're watching this show from. My name is Denise Belisle, and I'm your host today. And this is the It's All Good show. Lucas here for a chat. I'm here today with Nuria Sefchovich, and she's actually the first person I ever interview into this chat. Today is episode number 100. So we're super excited to have this show. But before I go, as I always do, I explain why I call this show It's All Good. First of all, it's my favorite cup. It's all good. And the reason why is because I feel that that's just the way I live my life. I live my life by saying, if anything negative happened to me, I always say, it's all good. I give myself a little time to process, and that little time is like a couple of minutes, but then afterwards, I just let it go. I just say it's all good. And my job is to find what's good about it. And because things of the past, I've tried to change them. You can right the wrong of yesterday, and you can predict what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow is not there yet. You can't live tomorrow today. So all we have to do is be here, right now, today. So as I mentioned, also I would like to, and I keep say that every time, invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you go to youtube.com/ at Denise Belisle and click on subscribe. And there's a little bell there. Click on the bell so that you're notified every time I have a new guest, a new video that comes up. You'll be alerted, and then you can come and check it out. One more thing, if you want to be part of this show and maybe part of this being 102, 3, 4, 5, 6, who knows, then I invite you to reach out to me. Or if after you hear us talk and you're excited about what I do, well, you can reach out to me by doing tiny.cc/talk with Denise, and you can book an appointment with me. So now let's welcome my dear friend Nuria Sefchovich. And here she is. Yay, Nuria.
Come
Great to have
on.
you here. Welcome back after 100 episodes.
How many things have changed since,
Yes, Nuria
right?
was my first guest, and now she's my 100th guest. And the reason why I started this show is her and we were meeting weekly every 2 weeks, and we were working on our business. We were supporting one another. We were masterminding with one another and
Yeah.
bouncing back ideas, setting up goals. And I've told you, right? Remember, it was about 2 years ago. And then I
Yes.
said, I need to be out there. I need to be more present. I need to put, my face out there and help more people. And that's the only way I see I can do that to start with. And then I was very nervous, and I said, well, maybe I can do a live, and invite people. And I said, well, do you want to be my first guest? And then she said, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. And you know what? I remember it like there are a couple of things that I want to say about that. Like the first thing is the importance of having an accountability partner
Mm,
for any project that you have in life. Like it could be, like growing up your business or creating a business
yeah.
to, I need discipline in my life or consistency in my life to go for a walk. Like it doesn't matter what activity it is, an
Yeah.
accountability partner really like grabs your hand and helps you to walk through the fear of, oh my God, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And that accountability partner is gonna hold your hand and say, let's jump, right? Let's jump together. And I think for me, experiencing that with you was amazing because also it was my
Mm,
first time. So it was
yeah.
like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this, right? And the other thing that I want to mention is way back, probably 3 years ago, I was listening to this Brené Brown podcast,
Mhm.
and the first episode of that podcast is the first the first time of something,
Yeah.
and it's pretty unique. Like if we get really present to whatever we want to create, there is this first moment, this first time. and keeping the energy of that, whatever you're creating in your imagination about that creation, if you keep it during the process, you end up saying it's all good.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I appreciate what you're saying, because like, don't be afraid to do your first time, right? I've had people that says, oh, I'd love to be on your show, but I can't speak in public. Like, you were a little bit nervous too, as I was, right? So I never did that before. And I said, well, let's hold hands and let's do it together. And Nuria, she hasn't, obviously haven't been back in 2 years almost. And then she see my show when I post it, and she watch it, but then she look at it, it's like, wow, you get this, you get that. Now she's experiencing from behind
Yeah,
the camera, and she said, wow, you've grown so much. And yes, and we'll find out more about her now. So I encourage you, go back to episode number 1, and
yes.
then go see what our conversation looked like before, and then we can
Yeah,
come back to it. Actually, I think I'm going to load up as you, I'll get you to talk, and then I'll go source out episode number 1, and we might watch just a little clip just to see
that
what
could
we
be
looked like a year, 2 years
fantastic. That
ago.
could be fantastic. Yeah,
But
before
before
and
we get,
after.
before I do that, tell me about you now. I know you've done a lot of changes in your life. A lot of things have been moving. And so tell me what you do now. I know it's still working with Access Bar. So why don't you first explain who you are for those that didn't see episode 1, and what you do, and then elaborate on what Access Bar is.
Yes, I love that. So,
Thank
well,
you.
I'm a transformational coach, and really, I came up with this technique, or my methodology as transformational coach, um, after I experienced lots of um, abandonment issues and depression issues and sadness in my life, uh, and of course, the most important thing at that time was that I raised my hand and say, I need help, right? But and I reach out for help. But while I was navigating through what was happening to me, I started putting, like, setting up different natural techniques that by natural I meant that came from inside of me to get better and
Wow.
get better and get better. And then I was like, wow, this I'm doing something, but what it is. And I started writing down my daily improvements.
Mm,
And then I started talking to people and friends of mine, and I was just advising from my living experience, and I ended up coaching people. And then access bars came to my life as the magic as magic is just randomly. A friend of mine from Mexico one day called me and said, Nuria, I had a session of this bar session and I thought about you. I was like, okay. So I just, I'm the kind of person that is an explorer. So
yeah.
if you say, this is good, I'm just going to go for it and find out what it is. So I took a session, and um, after 3 sessions, I experienced a sense of happiness, but more than the happiness based on these a constant positive affirmations, it came from being content,
Mm,
and being content from inside out, where regardless of what was happening in my outside world, I was content
yeah.
in that, I'm in that place of, I'm grateful for everything that is happening in my life as it is right now.
Yeah.
Even though for everybody could be like, how come you're grateful for that if it was so shitty?
Yeah. But when you're able to find inner peace, regardless of what's happening in the outside,
Yeah,
you handled it. Handle
yeah,
it differently, right?
yes, yes. So, um, uh, so what happens was I have like 20 plus years experience in the communications and marketing field. That's what I do for my full-time regular life, right? Professional life, let's call it that way. Um, but when I was doing my exploration as my personal introspection and putting on existence this transformational coaching business, eh, I realized that, you know what? My depression didn't start because I moved to a new country. My depression started way back,
Mm-hmm.
20 years back,
Yeah.
when I experienced the first abandonment issue, or the first rejection, or the first not feeling enough, not feeling that people approve me. On the first job when I wanted to fit, and the stress and lots of things that were building up gradually my depression.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I ended up creating this methodology where it's okay, let's go through the uncertainties,
Yeah.
because uncertainties, first of all, are real,
Mm-hmm.
and you cannot avoid them.
No,
You cannot, and there is lots of
because nobody knows what the
potency.
future brings, right?
Nobody, nobody, and you
Otherwise,
know,
we could buy lottery ticket. We could.
right? And I realized that, oh my God, I've been through so many uncertainties in my life
Hmm.
without the consciousness of all the potency and the possibilities behind those sort of uncertainties.
Yeah.
And then I just wrote down all those uncertainties and my breakthroughs through them. I said, it's fantastic when you write down the same way that you write down your expenses, you
Yeah.
know, if
Yeah.
you write down your uncertainties, you find this value and this learning process that is bigger than those moments when we think we are success.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
fascinating. It's fascinating. So I became this kind of passionate person about uncertainties and stress.
Well, that totally changed your life
Totally.
because you had a totally different perspective on your life, on the reality. Like the way I would explain that is it's almost like you had filters in front of your eyes, right? That was
Yeah.
clouding your vision of what was the real reality was. And as you healed yourself from this anxiety or that stress,
Yeah.
you sort of removed the filters, and then you was like, wow, it's okay. I'm okay,
I'm
right?
okay. I'm alive.
Yeah.
This happened to
Look at
me,
all the
and
beautiful tea in my life, the beautiful things that I have.
exactly, and I'm alive. You
Mm,
know, like, and that happened to me, and I'm alive. And that boss, and I'm alive. And that
yeah.
toxic relationship, and I'm alive.
I have so
And
much to be grateful for, you know?
right? It's like I'm alive. And just having that sense of I have myself.
Mm,
I have myself. You know, you can lose everything. But as long as you have yourself and you truly mean it,
yeah.
nobody can take away that from you.
Yeah.
Nobody. And it's fantastic. And I would love really to see our before and after of these interviews, because, of course, I didn't, like year ago, 2 years ago, I didn't have a gray hair. I didn't have like some wrinkles that are new. And probably 2 years ago, I would be like, oh, this is stressing me a little bit,
Yes.
right? Whereas today is this incredible opportunity of seeing ourselves in this mirror that is the screen, but at the same time is our eyes. So validating our existence by through this opportunity, Denise,
Yeah. So do you want
it's
to see
wonderful.
how you look like 2 years ago?
Yes, of course, of course. Wow. Look at that. Jesus.
Oh, hold on, the sun's not on. I see that there's already two people on, so that's awesome. It's probably us.
Yes,
And that's good. At least we are our own audience, so
I
that's
was so
really cool.
nervous.
we're
There's
for
nothing
sure.
like us watching ourselves and doing what we need. Hi, Kerwin. How you doing? And thank you for being here. Say hello in the chat with us watching me. And the reason I called it "It's All Good" because it's my favorite cup. It's
See, I
all
keep
good.
saying
So
that
I
every
drink
time.
water out of
You
this
have to.
cup
It's your
day in day
signature.
out, and I love this.
Nobody else about this. So just a parenthesis. The other day, I work with Denise regularly. We support one another. She's extraordinary. And one
Yes,
day, I
you
was
are.
last week. I was, I was about to meet a potential client for a consulting business I own in Mexico, and I was like, I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know. Like, I'm a little bit stressed out. I've been working on this proposal, and she just like walked me through an incredible 5 minutes relaxation exercise.
I could replay that whole episode, but if you guys wants to see more, just go to episode number 1
Yes,
under "It's All Good."
yes, because they can see where we are at right now in
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
Because it's the business, but it's the friendship, but it's how much we change collectively.
yeah, yeah.
And it's really unique. It's really unique.
Because not be afraid to take the leap, to change, to jump into, like you saw at the beginning, we were both very nervous. It was my first time, like, wow, there's two people watching, but we both had Facebook opened up on our computers. It was probably us. So
It's
that's the beauty, right,
amazing.
of doing these shows.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty. And it's
And
a way
today
that we
is
can
episode
improve.
100, like I've done it like every Monday at noon, 100 episode. I think it's amazing.
It's amazing. And it's the discipline, is the consistency, is creating a new habit in your life.
Yeah,
It's so many things, like so many things that at the end of the day is the opportunity of being alive.
yeah, yeah. Every morning, as we talked yesterday, we saw each other yesterday, this weekend, and then I was saying every morning I wake up and I have my cat on my lap and I hold him and I kiss him, and he doesn't want to get off the bed until he has that, and I don't want him to get off the bed until he has that, and then we
Yeah.
cuddle and we hug, and I do that with my cat because he's the one that's in my life. But what cut in my mind right now saying that is that if you have a partner, if you have children, are you taking the time every day to hold them and say, I'm so grateful for you to be in my life. I'm so grateful that I share this time with you. I'm so grateful. Like, I work now with empty nesters, and I can see people that have teenager, even though the teenager is like, oh mom, no, no, but then to look at them, to hold them and say, let me give you a hug because I love you so much. I know in a few years you'll be gone, and I just want to tell you how much I love you, how much that I care for you, and I know deep inside you do love me. And now I'm leaving and go. You can go now, but I
Yeah.
to say that to the people around you and support you. And even now, like when you have your parents, if your mom's still alive, your dad's still alive, if you can see them, go see them. But if you can't, do a phone calls and talk with them and tell them how important they are in your life, or they have been in your
Hmm.
life. And if you are in a quarrel with your parents, resolve it. Everybody else will be for the better with that.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know what? Our words and our physical interaction creates a certain vibration and a certain energy.
Yeah,
And we cannot avoid that. Even when we are sleeping, we're producing energy,
yeah, of course.
right? Like, of course, we think we're sleeping, we're resting, but our body is still going, like,
Yeah. Well, when we dream,
repairing.
we can see that, right? In the waves, and there's brain
Exactly.
waves going on. The body's emitting
We are
energy.
producing energy, right? We are energy. So
Yeah.
if you can, and, you know, it's not only to be encouraging people to be happy because they could see, that's a cliche, right? But let's do it from the perspective of convenience, right? It's convenient. When you invest in a different vibration, it's convenient. If you don't want to go through this concept of energy and being happy, you don't have to. But think about the return of investment
Yeah.
when you invest in energy.
Yeah. Because energy is our life force. And if your energy is low, your life force is low.
It's
See
low.
yourself as a battery, right? And
Yeah.
imagine, like if you have a clock, right? Tick, 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 and that works with a battery. I have a clock right there. And when the battery is low, well, the clock is going slower and it doesn't give me the right time. And our body, we're full of energy. And imagine when you're vibrant, you're excited, you wake up, you're full of life, you're grateful, you go for a walk, you look at the trees, the flowers, the birds, the rain
And you're
even.
more productive. You're more
Yeah,
productive if your
yeah,
if your goal is in life is to make money and tons of money. You have to be in a certain vibration to do that.
yeah, yeah,
Because also successful people, or the 1% of the population who are millionaires, they also do things they don't want to do,
yeah,
but because
absolutely.
they connect on the energy of high vibration,
Yeah,
they go through whatever it is. So don't make yourself wrong. If your purpose in life is to make money, make money,
yeah.
lots of money, tons of money. But if you don't have a high vibration, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. If you say you want to have lots of money, but then you think that, like filthy rich. Well, filthy rich is a negative emotion towards people that has money. So if you say I want to be filthy rich, that doesn't bring a positive energy towards you making money. But if you say I want to have so much money that I don't know what to do with it and I can give it to people that needs it, create a foundation. Last week, not yesterday, last week we met a gentleman and he was talking about that they made so much money that they create a foundation, right? You remember when he was doing his
Yeah,
talk, and then he said,
yeah,
we've started by doing a little bit, but now we build an orphanage. We help them do this. We help them do that. We keep collecting. We collect hundreds of $1,000s a year for these people.
yeah.
And that's the gift of having more than you need, and it's not filthy, it's healthy,
It's
right?
healthy. It's healthy, and also in when you connect on that sensation of money, and your purpose is making lots of money. But when you really truly connect with that, you can see if you're vibrating in the generation and expansion of money or from the lacking.
Yeah,
And really, it's so evident when someone comes from lacking, it doesn't matter how hard they work, money doesn't come
yes,
because there is always something that is lacking. It's a hole where you're just putting money, putting money, putting money, and it just disappears because it's lacking. There's
yeah,
never going to be nothing enough.
yeah,
So again, it's if you don't want to be happy, just do it because it's convenient. Work
yeah.
on your vibration because it's convenient.
So how all of that can be related to the work that you do with,
It's related in a sense that everything is a stressor.
yeah,
We live in a world that is designed to stress us out. It's designed that way. right?
Yeah.
It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's nobody's fault. It's the system. The system is like that. We live in this capitalism that is designed
Yeah.
for someone to fail, for someone to thrive, and that's the way it is. But in that dynamic, we experiencing the impact of the power dynamics, right? So on that dynamic, there are lots of stressors, right? Where we have certain standards in life to achieve that we didn't set up those standards. Someone else did, and we just follow through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I walk my clients in a sense that okay, let's work with the stress. Let's stop fighting against and resisting the stress. Let's work with it, right? Let's invite the sadness to come.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what, Denise, when you're really stressed out, when something really heavy is happening in your family or with yourself or at work or you lose your job, like heavy stuff, right? Life happens. Everybody says, oh, let it go. Oh, that breakup, let it go. What if you
Mm-hmm.
let it be?
Yeah.
Let it be. Because at the end, we have our human defaults, right? But something that I love for my clients to unleash is that in those moments, sadness is accountable, stress is accountable, anger is accountable. They are there when you need them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They are there.
There's
So
signal. Yeah.
at the moment you tell someone, stop being sad, hey, stop being like angry, you're asking them to remove that accountability partner
Mm-hmm.
that was there for them when they didn't know better.
Yeah.
Whereas when you grab that potency, it allows someone else to transform that energy of sadness, that energy of anger through whatever they want.
Yeah.
To me, that's, I want to cry. It's just magical.
Yeah.
It's magical because they can see it. It's their own energy.
Yeah.
It's not my concept of sadness or madness. It's not. It's their concept.
Yeah.
They own it and they can measure, they can track. Oh, look what I did with the same energy.
Yeah. 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 And
The
that's why
same
I
energy.
think in relation to what I do and what you do, and that's what I mentioned a lot when I started the show, is that when I say it's okay to be sad for a few minutes, but in some way people might misinterpret that in the sense that now you have to stop to be sad. But what I mean is now you have to look at the situation and look for the gift into that experience, right?
Yeah.
And that's the energy. What are you going to do with the energy of what you've experienced and bring it forward so that you will grow from it, you will learn from it,
Yeah.
it change your life. You can't deny that whatever happened has changed your life forever.
Forever.
It could be a tiny change, it could be a huge change, but now it's the new you. You are that person that has experienced that event. And so now what's going to happen to your life now? How are you going to move forward? Who's the new you now that is born from that experience? And as you mentioned, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's like, how are you going to use that energy of that new person now? It's your new imprint that is on you. And it doesn't mean that stay there and cry forever and hope you could go back to be the person you were. You can't,
Yeah.
right? You can't
And
go back.
you can go back, and also it's I think many people are afraid to take on these kind of techniques or getting access to different tools because we have so many attachments
Mm.
to people, to situations, to toxicity, um, that is hard to say I want to change,
Mm.
right? Because if I change, this friendship is no longer working.
Sometimes you have to lose something. You have to let go, not lose, but let go of a thing.
Exchange,
Exchange.
right? You have to exchange to say
Like,
this cycle is already complete.
yeah.
is already complete. So we have to change.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same love. It's just you're just putting that love towards something else. And when you do that, you remove any energy related with being selfish
Mm-hmm.
because that attachment is also holding back that other person. And when you break that pattern, you transform the energy for you and for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, Denise, we're humans. And the reason why I mentioned before that I was doing communications and marketing for government and the private sector is because something that I really learned through all of these experiences was that we humans, when we're in this corporate professional world, we're afraid to say, you know what, secretly, I go to a retreat. Secretly, I practice yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Secretly, I read my horoscope. We're so afraid to say, secretly, I'm a human being
Yeah.
because that doesn't match with being a
The
professional
corporate,
person
the
going
corporate
to the
image.
corporate
Yeah.
world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, whoever is listening to us right now, really, we come from the corporate world. It's not one thing or the other.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it all. And that doesn't mean if it doesn't feel right for you, that doesn't mean that you have to go through life saying, hey, I do yoga, I do this, I do that. No, you're building
You're
up
just
your
human. Yeah.
persona. You're just human. You're just human.
You saying that, it made me feel that, like, I think it's getting more and more now. I think the world is opening up a little bit more to having these conversation, and people, I call that the woo and the woo woo, right? Like the woo is like, okay, you do yoga, you might read your horoscope, and you might, like you're meditating. So that's the woo. And the woo woo is like you believe in angels, you believe in, like
Something that
the
is transcendent,
yeah,
right?
transcendent world and all that. And for me, I'm considering myself a woo and a half, you know, not a woo woo, but a woo and a half. I'm kind of
I
plutonic,
love
you know.
it. I love it.
But I think more like I look at the people I have invited, the people that works with energy, the people that works with healing. Like I'm a Reiki masters, and initially when I first heard about Reiki, and yeah, I channel energy and I put my hand on you and then it helps you heal. And I was like, well, that's woo woo, you know. But then I experienced it, and I
Yeah.
shared with other people, and there's result. So that was like, okay, I don't understand how that works, just as well as I don't really understand how my cell phone works, but it works,
Yeah.
right? But it's all
It works.
energy, and it's connection that we have. And just like, I was lucky enough to have a session with Nuria,
Okay.
and I felt like I was there for 15 minutes, and I think we were there, what, an hour and 15 minutes
An
or
hour and 15. Yeah.
it's not an hour and a half. And it was just like I wasn't sleeping. I didn't fall
Yeah.
asleep, but I was just absorbing that energy. I was just absorbing the healing that I needed to have.
Yeah.
And that was amazing, so
Oh, I'm glad you had that experience. That
yeah, like it
I
was
love it.
just it reconnected me with my own energy. And I think we did that when my cat died,
Yeah.
right? That was
That was
in
exactly that week.
September, 2 September ago, so almost two
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was very sad. I was, I've been with, both my cat at that time for 15 years, and don't tell the other one, but he was my favorite. And we all have a favorite. I know you have children, I'm
We
sure you have
all.
a favorite, even though we don't tell them. We love them both. But anyway, but I was very sad. And then Nuria say, just come to see me. I will help you. I will support you. And she did. And I felt transformed. Like, we talked, first of all, I expressed how I felt, and then I just lay down, close my eyes, and she did what her magic, did what she does. And afterwards, I felt so much more calm, so much more relaxed, less, like it's all good. That energy got transformed, into
Yeah,
something else, and it allowed me to have more acceptance and more positive energy towards
yeah.
what had happened.
Yeah.
And that's the magic that she does. So it was
Oh,
pretty amazing.
thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. And something that I really love about this access bars technique is that it's a giving receiving
Mm,
technique. So whatever the person is allowing to receive, at the same time is giving to me.
mhm.
When you release sadness, I
Yeah,
release sadness
yeah,
in whatever frequency I have it
yeah,
conceived,
yeah,
or in whatever misinterpretation I made about sadness in my life, I release that, and it's so magical. I sometimes I feel like I have to pay my clients instead of they pay me, because
you get the
it,
healing also. Yeah,
I get the healing also, right?
I
And
feel the same when I have active rehab and I see my therapist doing the same exercise as I do, and I say, hey, you should pay me to get future exercise.
right. And also, what, now that when you say, like, there is different levels of woo and woo
Yeah,
woo,
yeah, yeah,
um, um, tied to that is when you say, is this for me or this is not for me, right? Because there
mm,
are many people who don't really know.
yeah,
But something that I notice more and more is that there are more men willing to try, or giving
mm,
themselves the permission to do things that tend to be just for women.
yeah, yeah,
And I love that. I really, the more I am connected with the male energy, the more I'm growing as a female being,
yeah.
really, because men's vulnerability is really beautiful.
Hmm.
It's really, really beautiful. And sometimes we just see the social construction about what is it to be a man.
Yeah,
And when I have them in a session, it's just wow, wow. Like, yeah, you've been putting so many labels on men.
yeah. And when they are in a session, like I used to do body work massage, right? And I can slightly understand what you're saying in a sense that for the man to allow himself to put the barriers down, right?
Put the barriers
Guards
down.
down, put the barriers down, and he's just laying there and say, okay, I'm giving myself to you. I'm allowing you to enter my world, right? And
Yeah,
that makes it's different because when we meet men in a corporate world or different businesses, they have all their guards on, and it's like, I'm tough, and I'm not,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
the jello that I could be when I'm one on one with someone with whom I trust, right?
yeah, yeah. It's amazing. Like, seeing them and learning from their level of vulnerability.
Yeah.
It's just it's something else. It's
Mm-hmm.
something else. So for whoever is asking, is this for me or this is not for me? Try, try, and so something that I always say is like, it doesn't matter what or which a technique you want to try. Just try.
Yeah.
Just do it. It doesn't matter, because in all the healing world or in the coaching world, every coach is unique,
Yeah.
regardless of the technique. So sometimes there are clients that are not a good fit for you,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to send them to the right coach.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's how it works, because the point, the beauty of being in a community is to share. and say, if you don't like access bars, try Reiki, but don't give up on yourself.
Yeah.
Go and try,
Yeah.
because you're gonna find the right tool for you.
Mm-hmm.
But try, go and try,
That's fabulous.
go
So
and
that,
try and do it and play.
yeah, don't be afraid, like it's okay to step out of our comfort zone to, and that's what we did 2 years ago, right? Like we both
Yeah,
step out of our comfort zone and look where it led us. So it's pretty
and that
amazing.
doesn't mean that you're no longer facing with life, right?
Mm.
As we said, like, uncertainty is gonna happen,
Yeah.
but how can you navigate through the uncertainty in total ease, right? What if you don't have to suffer the uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
instead you learn how to shift that into excitement?
Well, I think when we live the moment, when we're here and now, and because what I say often is like, you can't plan. It's okay to plan your future because you got to have a goal. You have to have a vision of where you want to go. But to be worrying about where you're going to go, that's where it become detrimental for your health, right? And your
Yeah,
well-being. Because
yeah,
planning is good. You need to plan, right? It's like people that plan for their retirement, they put money aside, they decide, okay, in 5 years we're going to sell the house, we're going to buy another house somewhere smaller, whatever that is, right? Planning is okay. But when you end up living in that situation that never happened and it creates anxiety for you, that's where it's
yeah,
not healthy. And you need to shift that energy towards more coming back to right here inside.
yeah. And you know what, I noticed you lately being you were really active to talking about mental health,
Yeah, in May, yeah, there was mental health
which I
awareness.
really personally appreciate that. And because right now, Denise, we're living in a time that we have to take advantage of the conversations we're having publicly, right?
Yeah.
Like, I remember in the past, like a couple of years ago, it wasn't okay if you come up as someone dealing with depression.
Yeah, yeah, it was
You
taboo
were,
almost. You don't want to
it
talk
was
about it.
taboo. Yeah. And today we talk about it.
Yeah.
So let's take advantage of the battle that someone else back in then was fighting against, or why, or fighting for,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So today we have the possibility of talking about that and say, what if that's me?
Yeah.
What if that's me? And get the resources that that are available for you to choose a bigger life.
Hmm.
Because I always say, mental health is a human right. It
Yes.
has to be. And because depression doesn't respect age, social class.
Yeah. You're never too young or too old to have a depression.
It just happens.
It just happened. And it's okay. And you can get out of it, right?
Yes,
It's
yes.
not a
And
death sentence. You don't have to
it's
die with
not.
it.
It's
So,
not. It's
yeah.
not. It's not. And it's for me, that I deal with depression in the past, I reset myself to learn that it's okay to experience sadness, as we were saying at the beginning of the
Yeah.
show, and rest on it, and transform it, and giving yourself the permission to be sad.
Hmm.
And don't be afraid of, oh, I'm going to the depression rabbit hole again. No,
What is people gonna say, right?
exactly. And talk about it, and overcome that. Because, as you said, there are tools.
Yeah. And
There are
even though
tools.
May was the mental health awareness month, and what I kept saying the whole time in May is that don't make only May mental illness awareness. Like, don't be afraid to talk about it, to support people, ask them how they're doing, ask them what they're doing, what they're up to, if they need help, if they need support, how can I be of support?
Yeah.
Like, people even just say, hey, you want to go for a walk, do you want to go for tea, do you want to have a chat, and support people. So
Support people, and everything starts with a conversation.
yeah. So time
Everything
flies.
starts.
We've been here 45 minutes, so we could
You
talk for
see?
two
Crazy.
hours.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you really loved what Nuria had to say. So people could reach out to you, right, by sending you an email.
Yes.
And why is there 3E at trees?
Well, the East is like encounter. There are like many personal meanings in the East. I started with
So it's
I
not a
my
typo. So make sure
no,
it's
it's not
not
a
a typo.
typo. It's
There's
not a
three
typo.
E's.
Three E's, and each one represent one of my daughter, each of my daughters, and myself.
Oh, that's
So it's
beautiful.
the energy of our own encounters in life. So that's the meaning. I know it's like tricky. It's not marketing oriented. It's threes, and
Personal, totally selfish and
it's
personal.
personal, selfish, personal, and yeah, we're a tree, like a natural tree,
Yeah,
with an
yeah,
extra e. That is the encounter. Yeah.
wonderful. And you have a gift also for people that are local to
Yes,
Vancouver,
Vancouver, the Lower
because
Mainland.
you want her to touch you.
Yes, yes, it's a for an in-person sessions. I'm located in New Westminster, in downtown New West. That's where my practice is. By the way, that was a breakthrough that I had, which is different from 2 years ago. I
Yes,
used to have my practice at home in my
yes,
basement.
yes.
I took it out of my basement this year, and I was like, I'm gonna have a breakthrough with this. So I opened my practice in downtown
That's
New West.
awesome.
So that's where I am at. So for whoever it lives in Vancouver, New West, Lower Mainland, Surrey, Coquitlam, Burnaby, usually my sessions are 120, a single session. But my special is three. You can have three sessions for 100 each session.
Perfect.
And if you have kids, really, kids are my gem. There are like lots of bullying at schools. Let's help to step out of that to our kids. They are our future. So for kids, each session is 85 if
Wonderful.
they are under 16. And if you
Perfect.
have employees, send me an email because I have a special offer for your employees and they can be happy and more productive.
Perfect. Well, who doesn't want that?
Who doesn't? How does it get any better than this?
Can't be better than that. So thank you so much, Nuria, and
Thank you,
happy
my love.
100th episode anniversary for us.
Happy 100th anniversary.
I think it's absolutely amazing. And I'm so excited that you were available today to come for the show, because for me, it means a lot. I mean, the path that we both took in the last couple of years and the changes that happens, and I'm so glad you're in my life. So thank you.
I'm the one who's glad and happy and blessed. And thank you for making me part of this idea, this creation. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. So stay there. I'll be right back with you. So here we go, 100 episodes. So now let's just keep going. I'm super excited. I have more guests coming for you. I'll have, most likely, like I did last year, a special for the 2 years anniversary. And we'll see what that's going to look like. But last year I had a recap. So if you go see episode 52, I think there was a recap of the first year, little tidbits of everyone, what they say and how they say it. I don't know. There's something maybe different that's going to come this year. We'll see. We'll find out. So until next time, be kind to one another. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. And again, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/at Denise Belisle, or you can book an appointment with me at tiny.cc/talk with Denise. And I would love to have a conversation with you. So until next time, be kind to one another, and I'll talk to you soon.